It is crude.
أيوة بس هو مش بيعجبه جمالي. هو بيحب النيجرز.
It is offensive.
هو أنا جايب البيت ده المزاجي ولا عشان أحرف فيه عبيد؟
And it's ugly. In the Arab world, racist depictions of black people are rampant. And the use of blackface is rife. Black people are routinely cast into subservience, playing servants, prostitutes, or they're shown as straight-up objects of ridicule.
عندما تتكرر أو ما تظهر هذه الصورة.
When we watch TV shows or movies, black people are always inferior. And blackface is an inferior, negative and racist concept, which should not belong in the Arab world. We almost never speak about this segment of Arab society, black people. Firstly, because they never get to speak in public spaces. The black person is a citizen in the Arab world, but an invisible citizen. Why? Because power made him invisible.
The Arab world is entirely self-righteous. We would never admit that we're racist.
Blackface is a practice rooted in the 19th century United States. White actors blacken their skin to mimic enslaved Africans, creating a stereotype of lazy, ignorant black people. How blackface entered the Arab mainstream is not certain. British colonizers are thought to have brought it to Egypt in the 1880s. Be it in the Middle East or in the West, blackface is rooted in slavery and racism, reinforcing a toxic notion that blackness is at best a joke. Social norms have moved slowly by comparison in the Middle East. Things are changing, however. Take the case of Shem, a star on the Arab world's most widely watched media network, NBC. A skit she performed earlier this year caused a storm online.
Shema Asif is sitting in the front of a van and she's speaking just, it's not comprehensible Arabic, it's not comprehensible anything. It's this awful, overly sexualized nonsense dialect that is an attempt, I think, to represent the Sudanese dialect, and it's very offensive. In the other video, there is Shema with purportedly her little boy, who constantly has to go to the bathroom, and she has him urinate in a jar, and when he does so, people are horrified. I cannot imagine a woman wiping the urine off of her hands onto other passengers. It just wouldn't happen. So this idea that the Sudanese are uncleanly and they don't care and that they have no hygiene is also quite racist.
Directors, producers, and actors use blackface to entertain audiences. But that's because society already disregards these people. So in the eyes of the director or producer, they look at what makes people laugh and what they respond to, and they use it. They're not concerned with improving public taste. They just want to make money fast. And how do they make quick money? By making people laugh.
Underpinning this racist form of comedy is a deep social amnesia, a denial of a history of slavery. Between the 7th and 19th century, Arab traders captured millions of African slaves and shipped them out of the continent. Slavery was not formally abolished in the Arab Gulf countries until 1970. Many contend a modern form of slavery still exists there today. The Arabic word for slave, abd, is commonly used as a racial slur. The Middle East history of slavery, the casual racism, particularly against Sudanese or Nubian people from the south of Egypt, and the depictions of black Arabs on screen are interwoven.
Nobody has ever discussed any of that, and nobody has ever acknowledged this very dark and shameful history, whereas there is no acknowledgement whatsoever of our shameful role of what happened to Africans earlier in those centuries, at these times.
Our preferences as Arabs, which align with the standards around the world, is that the whiter someone is, the more attractive they are. I have personally received a lot of comments, like, the night has come early, or I get called Shikabala. Shikabala is a black footballer and I shouldn't be offended, but the name is used in a derogatory manner to offend me. There are lots of sexual remarks related to black stereotypes. People have pulled my hair, spit on me, and thrown things at me. People talk about me as though I don't understand Arabic, as though I don't know they are commenting about me.
مش عربي يعني فبيبقوا بيتكلموا عليا بشكل واضح تماما.
يتجوز علانة هيبقوا حديث.
صورة الأسود في
The black person's image in the media and in the Arab world's psyche won't change for the better as long as black people themselves keep being silent. Nothing will change because the people who create these images are the ones who are in power, leaving the black people on the sidelines. I say that the black man needs to fully participate in the change. In the Arab world, this image will never change as long as Arab people's mindsets and perceptions of black people don't change.
from a book called Herod the Great, His Life and Times by Stuart Perron. Alright, the introduction tells you this.
It says, for Herod, born as a younger son of an obscure Arab civil servant,
Showing you that Herod was an Arab. Let's turn to the page.
Alright, check this out. It was not Hyrcanus that thwarted him. It was an Idumean, a member of the race who were the hereditary enemies of the Jews, who had but lately been humbled by Hyrcanus' grandfather. This outsider was the gray eminence behind Hyrcanus. His name was Antipater, son of Antipater, and he was the father of Herod the Great. Watch this. The Edomites were Arabs, and they were the oldest surviving enemies of the Jews. Throughout this whole book, it's basically showing you that the Edomites are Arabs. And right here, when you go down, they intermingle with the Nabateans. You know what I mean? And this migration to the north and west of their original home, the Edomites were probably encouraged by the Nabateans. Another Arab, that's another Arab people who had established themselves in the mountain citadel of Petra.
Throughout the whole book, it's basically showing you that the Edomites are Arabs. So all this white man, Esau's the white man, is pure garbage. Y'all not reading the scriptures, and y'all misleading the people and showing that hatred doctrine, not showing the love.